Okay, here we go, everyone. How's it going? I'm Nick Baldwin. This is Leslie Jackson. Say hi,
Hi,
Leslie.
everyone. Excited to be here.
Thanks for being on with us today. We are going to teach you guys how to make a Facebook ad. We're going to keep it pretty simple today. We're not going to do anything crazy. We're not going to do anything that's going to make you jump through hoops to create Facebook campaigns. We're going to keep it pretty simple. And it's just, we're going to go through how to create just a basic single property ad on command so you can start getting leads through Facebook. And the thing with single property ads are they bring a lot of leads. So that's good. If you want a high quality, if you want a high quantity, you're going to get some. The thing with single property ads is that they bring you a lot more leads than if you were just advertising, homes in a particular neighborhood. If you've been on our webinars before, we've done those. We're going to just stick to a regular single property ad. And if you don't have a listing, which many of us don't these days, if you don't have listings, then just get permission from somebody in your market center or a team in your market center that tends to get listings. Just get permission from them to ask them if you can advertise those listings on Facebook, and I'm sure they'll give you permission. I'm sure they'll say yes. I was going to say that if you have questions, drop them in the chat and Leslie will answer them. I'll answer them. We'll both answer them. So should we just get started?
Let's get started.
All right, let me share my screen with you. Hold on one moment. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to show you guys how to make a basic single property Facebook ad so you can start getting leads immediately. All right, so I'm here in campaigns and I have a listing that I'm going to make an ad for. And this is how I want to start. I want to make sure I go to create a campaign in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And we're going to click social ad paid. Okay. So let's click that and then just give it a name. And the best name to give it is the listing address. So I'm using a listing called 62 Greenbrook. And we want to use the goal of advertise listing. And we want to advertise that listing on Facebook. And we also want to advertise that listing on Instagram. And then we're going to create that campaign. And then what's going to happen is you're going to get the KWLS come out from the right-hand side. And if it is your listing, you're going to see it here under your listings. If you don't see it or it's not your listing, just come over here to the right-hand side and click this drop down where it says only my listings, and it'll show only my listings or all listings. So I'm going to go to all listings and I'm just going to search for the property address. You can do property address, MLS number, or listing agent. Property address is always the best bet, or MLS. So let's look it up. And search. And here it is right at the very top. That's what I like to see. So we're going to select that listing. When you select it, you'll see a couple things that have happened here. And just remember, drop it right in the chat if you have questions and Leslie will answer them. And if it's a question that she thinks everyone should know the answer to, then she'll say it out loud. Okay, so you'll notice a couple things that have happened here. The description from the MLS gets pulled in under the main copy. Now, you may want to keep some of that. You may want to delete some of that. For example purposes, I'll delete some and add some of my own description. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see that it pulls in the very first photo from the MLS. And you can always change that, and we'll do that in the next couple steps. But let's see what this says. New in Brookdale section, special, serene, private, and popular 2.5 bath, nearly 1,600 square foot, Greenbrook condominiums townhome. Okay, so I want to keep that first sentence and delete that sentence. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to click the space bar, and then I'm going to use some emojis because I want to have like a heading. I want to have like like an eye-catching headline. So let's click this little emoji guy here at the bottom corner of the main copy box. And I'm going to search for a house. And then I'm going to click house. Now it's going to show up at the end of the description because you got to put emojis in as you're typing or else it'll always end up at the end. So I'm just going to copy and paste it up there. Okay. Very simple. So what I want my headline to say is just listed. And then let's paste another emoji house there. That way it's got like this eye-catching headline with emojis that will help you get people to stop their thumbs from scrolling. So new in Brookdale section, special, serene, private, and proper, yada, yada, yada. Then we want to have a call to action because we need to tell people what we want them to do. So the call to action is click learn more for info. And then let's go to emojis again and click a little thumbs up. Okay. Don't go overboard with emojis, but just a few to, mix it up a little bit. Then the headline, you can easily just put new in and then the town. So I'm just saying new in Bloomfield or just listed in Bloomfield, whatever you want to say, just listed in and then the city or the town. And then the description should really only be like one sentence. And KW gives you some suggestions here. So this says, try this. You could be coming home to this. You could come over here and click the shuffle button and it'll shuffle, schedule a private tour, view photos and video. So I'm going to click schedule a private tour with me today. And then I'm going to use that suggestion right here. And then you can see the headline gets input here and the description gets inputted here. Okay. So that's what we've got so far. Now, when we scroll down to media, we want to, first of all, we want to save this. Okay. And everything that you're doing, as you do it, you're going to see it reflect in the example of the ad on the right-hand side. So you're never going to get lost. You're always going to see the new updates to your ad as you create them. Any questions we should know about, Leslie?
The one thing that is continuing to come up a little bit, Nick, is just how do I get seller leads? I need more seller leads.
Okay, so that's like the biggest question
The biggest
I always
question.
get.
Yeah.
The best seller leads are buyer leads. The best seller leads are buyer leads. 30%, according to NAR, 30% of buyers in 2021 had to sell a house before they bought one. So if you're not asking the right questions to leads, you're going to miss a listing opportunity. So if you have a condo like this is a townhome, there's a good chance that a condo or a townhome is going to appeal to someone who's downsizing. If you have a larger home, like my mother's team just listed a $1.4 million property, there's a good chance that someone who's buying that house is upsizing. So make sure that you're asking the right questions when you get leads on the phone. And those questions are, do you currently own a home? Yes. Great. Do you have to sell that home before you buy a new one? Yes. Awesome. I can help you do that as well. So make sure you're asking the right questions. And that question is, do you currently own a home? Because if you're listing a condo, there's a good chance it's a downsizer. If you're listing a larger home, it's a good chance it's an upsizer. So don't miss the opportunity. Seller ads on Facebook typically fall flat. They usually bring buyers, which is great. And if you're asking the right questions, you might get the buyer. But ads in general will put you in front of both. And when we create the target audience later, we'll be able to input some targets that appeal to sellers as well as buyers too. Does that make sense to everybody?
I feel like everybody at the same time said, amen.
Hallelujah. Somebody said it. Awesome. So now I'll come off my soapbox and we'll get back to it. Because, listen, it's all about asking questions. Don't be scared to ask questions. All right. So let's get back to it. So we're going to go to Facebook and Instagram settings. Oh, no, media. Sorry. Media. And we're going to click configure. And this is when we're going to bring in some photos. Okay. So let's click on add more. Watch what happens when I click add more. All of the photos from the MLS come in to this to campaigns, which is pretty awesome. So you don't have to upload anything from your hard drive. All right. So let's click on this living room photo and then preview and crop it. I'm going to back up a little bit so we can get the whole image. And then we're going to add more. You can add up to 5 photos. So let's add this one. And then let's add a kitchen photo. And then let's add a deck photo. So now you can see like our ad on the right-hand side is a carousel. So when people are looking at it, they can swipe back and forth. So you want to put like the 5 best photos that you have, because you don't want people to think that you're like hiding anything from them. Here, let me change them. And you can also change your photos. I'm going to change this image. I'm going to delete this image, add the image again, but make it. And then you can move images around like this. So there you go. But what's going to happen in Facebook is Facebook's going to take your images and they're going to move them around. So the order that you launch it in really won't matter in the long run, because they're going to move the photos around based on which photo gets the most clicks. So like, let's say, this is my first image that I start with, but let's say like this picture of the kitchen is the most clicked photo to submit information. They'll put that kitchen picture first. That's pretty awesome that they do that, because they're going to want people to start clicking immediately. All right. So then let's save this. Oh, I got to add okay. So I have to add a logo here. You got to put like a logo, preferably a Keller Williams logo. So let me look for one. I'm just going to use a red one. And it just gets dropped, I think. Yep, right there. So it looks nice. You could do like a team logo there if you wanted to. You're supposed to do your market center logo. So if you need to do that and be compliant, get your market center DBA logo and just upload it there. It's very small. You can't really, it's very hard to see anyway, but it's there for compliance purposes. And then Facebook and Instagram settings. Any questions up to that point, Leslie?
Nope, we're good.
Okay. Now from here, watch this. So like it says Keller Williams up here on the ad, but what we want is we want to change that to our personal Facebook page. I mean, I'm sorry, our business page, not our personal page. So we're just going to come down here to page. And if you don't have a business page connected to campaigns, you have to go into settings, which is right here on the upper right-hand side settings, and click settings and then just connect it. And there's prompts for that. So select page. Let's use this page. And then you'll notice it changes up at the top from KW to my team page. All right. Now you want to make sure that the ad in Instagram shows up in the feed. So when you're up here, you can see how it looks. So we can see how it looks on the web. We can see how it looks on a mobile phone. And we can also see how it looks in an Instagram story or an Instagram feed. So it looks like this. Okay. And we want to make sure that we click Facebook lead generation form, because that will bring in full information on leads. So it'll bring you name, email, and phone number. Okay, now we want to put a link here. So what link do we use? It's best to use a link from your website for the listing. So I'm going to go to my website and I'm going to search for the listing. Okay, here it is. And I'm just going to grab the link at the top, copy it, and then I'm going to erase this HTTPS and just drop it right in there. And that's what's going to happen is when someone clicks on your ad, they're going to be prompted to submit their information, and then they'll be led to that link that you're leading the ad to. Any questions up to that point?
Actually, we actually have a good one, and I think this is a great one for everyone to hear, Nick. So I'll read it to you. Hi, they say, and this is from John. So thank you, John. Hi, they say choosing the goal, advertise multiple listings gives lots of leads. We're running, and yes, it gives a lot of clicks and impressions. However, as confirmed by KW support, it doesn't have lead gen form, unlike single listings. So it doesn't capture leads automatically. Do you do these kinds of campaigns and recommend it?
Only do it if you want to build brand awareness. If you don't, if you want to get leads, then you need to do a single property with lead generation.
Yes.
All right. So now we're going to build our audience so we can get in front of people who might want to buy or sell a house. So in this sense, we don't want to do auto. We want to do custom. So I'm going to click custom audience. And then I'm going to want to choose my location. And because this is Bloomfield, New Jersey, I'm actually going to target New York City because that's where a lot of buyers who buy in Bloomfield, New Jersey live. They live in New York City or one of the 5 boroughs. And I can do 25 miles. I can go a radius of 50 up to 50 miles and as narrow as 15 miles. So I'll do a 20-mile radius. And then here, I'm going to add my interests, and the interests will help me get in front of potential buyers and sellers. So let's click add interests, and I'm just going to type in some of the interests that I typically use when I'm creating ads for buyers and sellers. And there's like hundreds of interests that Facebook and KW give us, but I'm just going to type in the ones that I know. So I'm going to use real estate investing. I'm going to type in mortgage, and that will bring me mortgage loans, mortgage calculator, and mortgage insurance. I'm going to use first time buyer, and that will bring me first time buyer. I'm going to use the word loan, and then that will bring me loan and FHA insured loan. I can also use home equity loan. That's kind of like a homeowner target. And for more homeowner targets, we can use equity, not private equity, home equity line of credit. We could do for sale by owner. We could do moving companies. We could do lending, and that will give us pre-qualification. We can do, so I like to also do like higher end targets, like higher net worth targets. So finance, credit, personal finance. So market will bring me stock market, financial market. Yep. And then market watch. And let's see. Oh, Zillow and realtor.com are also good ones to use. Okay, so here's the interest that I'm using. Real estate investing, mortgage loans, mortgage calculator, mortgage insurance, first time buyer, etc. So like what this does is it puts us in front of people who are interested in one or the other of these things. So example, it's not going to put me in front of people who are interested in all of these things. It will put me in front of people who are interested in one or the other. So someone who's interested in real estate investing or mortgage loans or mortgage calculator or mortgage insurance. Now, what you can do to start matching interests together is you can do this. So I'm going to delete Zillow, realtor.com and realtor.com. And if you guys are really interested in trying to get homeowner information, I'm going to click for sale by owner out of here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to narrow audience right underneath there. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use Zillow, realtor.com, and for sale by owner, and save. So what I'm doing here is I'm narrowing my audience to make it more specific, and one or the other of the interests at the top will match all three of the interests at the bottom. So someone interested in real estate investing who also is interested in Zillow, realtor.com, and being a for sale by owner. Someone who's interested in pre-qualification for lending and interested in Zillow, realtor.com, and for sale by owner. So that will help you possibly get in front of people who might have a home to sell. Are there any questions around that? I'm seeing a lot in the chat going on.
Yes. So I think this is a great question, Nick. When you say interested, do people need to like these topics on Facebook, or does Facebook use cookies to market to people who have searched these related topics? Thanks for your question, Krista.
It's a little bit of both, but it's primarily your search habits. So if you're looking on Zillow and you have your iPhone open or you have your browser open, and Facebook hasn't been logged out of, you can have Facebook clicked out. But if you haven't logged out, it's going to know that you're on Zillow. So yeah, so it's not as much of liking the page as it is actually searching the websites. So hope that makes sense. Okay. So now what you can do is you can now save audiences. So you could save this audience so you don't have to rebuild it later on. So if I wanted to save the audience and say, buyer/seller interests, and I click save, now the next time I go and I build an ad like this, I can just go to saved audience, click the drop down, and let me find that one I just did. I can't see it because this Zoom is in the way. There it is. So I can just click buyer seller interests as the interest, as the saved interests, and it'll just automatically add it for me. So I won't have to do it again. You can always edit it, take interests away, add interests. But it makes it super easy to save your audiences. So I've got multiple audiences saved: condo, seller. So anyway, all right, save. Now lead settings. Okay, so this is where you're going to start some automation. All right, and you're going to be able to auto tag. So as leads come in, you'll be able to give them tags automatically, so you can find those leads at a later time. I mean, you can find them in campaigns, but if you want to do a filtered search in contacts for Facebook leads looking in Bloomfield, you'll be able to do that. So couple things. If you have a tag in your database already, like I have Facebook lead already as a tag, you're just going to type it and use it. If you don't have one, like let's say XYZ, right? Let's just say that was a tag I wanted to use. I can then create new tag, give it a color, click add, and then it will automatically add that tag to my database. But I'm going to use the tags that I already have. So Facebook lead, Bloomfield, and those are the two tags I'm going to use. Let's just say condo. All right. Condos, let's just say condos. All right. So that way, like these are people who, when the lead comes in, they get tagged with all three of these things. So I can find them later. Now, smart plans. So I'm not going to go all into how to use a smart plan. I'm just going to tell you which one you can go download. Make sure that you edit it accordingly. Make sure that make sure that there's no spelling errors because I'm horrible at proofreading. So you can go into the smart plan library and search my name and download this smart plan. Revised property specific Facebook follow-up. And then you can look at it and read it through and make corrections as you see fit and delete steps, add steps. But this is a smart plan that I use regularly that gets a lot of response. I just got someone reply to me as we were talking. She didn't really reply. She replied to me, but she wasn't very specific. So one of the texts that went out, let's see, she came in from, actually a lead from one of these, from this condo. The text went out at 11:17. She wrote back at 11:18. Hi, Pamela. Sorry that we haven't been able to connect about your home search yet. I know it's a busy time for a lot of people. I saw a few other homes that you may like. Can I text those or email? Or is email better? She said, yes, thank you. So I'm like, okay, well, which is it? Text or email? I'm guessing text. So I'm going to text her back a link of properties that I think she might like. But anyway, that's one of the steps in this smart plan. So I'm getting responses from this smart plan. And it's a smart plan that I wrote, and it's 30 days long, and use it. Okay. Make sure you have Twilio connected and make sure you have the command app downloaded on your phone so you can reply when people text you. All right. So I'm going to save that. And now, any questions up to that point, Leslie? There's one in the Q&A box too. I don't know if you got that.
There was one in the Q&A box, and they literally just said mind blown.
Oh,
mind blown on that. And I'm not sure exactly what part they were mind blown on, but I would say a lot of it.
I would say all of it. The whole thing. All of the things. What about any questions in the chat?
Yeah, there's one in the chat, but I think that we should cover after you go through duration and budget, because I think it'll be a great timely answer to their question.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Whatever you say. So let's go to duration and budget. This is how long I'm going to run the ad for and how much I'm going to spend. Okay. So by default, you're going to be given a 10-day duration. You can change that. It's going to automatically start it's going to start the day after. It probably will start much sooner than that, but you can't choose for an ad to start the same day that you're creating it because it needs to be approved. But I want to end it. You can end it on any day you want. Okay. I'm going to keep it at 10 days. I'm going to keep it at 10 days. And let's just say we're going to do $100 for $5 a day per channel. Because remember, we're doing Facebook and we're doing Instagram. So $5 a day per channel. But it's very important that you don't distribute the cost of your Facebook ad evenly across both platforms. You want to let Facebook use automatic placements for your Instagram ad. So I'm going to check this box right under total campaign budget. And then what happens is it will show you that it's going to dynamically spend your money. So a total of $10 a day, $5 on Facebook a day, and $5 on Instagram a day. But it's going to dynamically spend your money. So this is the best explanation as to what that means. Facebook uses their algorithm to intelligently spend your money based on your audience and performance. Set your budget and allow Facebook to optimize your spend to gather impressions. So what that means is if my $5 a day on Instagram isn't performing as well as it's performing on Facebook, that $5 will be moved over to Facebook automatically to get my money's worth, and vice versa. You want to be on both platforms for your ads because you never know where the best lead's going to come from, but you want to do it dynamically and let Facebook decide how well the ad is doing and where your money should be. Now, with a single property ad like this one, like I know this one already received like 12 offers and it's already going to be pending in a couple days. So like with a single property, I would say run it for like 5 days max. 10 days is probably too long in this market. So 5 days would probably be even better. So if you wanted to do for 5 days, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Ooh, that's 4. Counted wrong. Okay. So maybe that's $20 a day, or maybe I'm only going to do 50, for $10 a day. And so that's how you would do it. All right. So yeah, single property ads, typically you don't want to run as long because they'll be outdated in a week. All right. So save. And here's how my ad looks. And if I want to just publish and I want to run, I just create campaign. I'm not going to run this because this property sold, but that's how you do it. And then let me just save this here. Make sure you save it as a draft. If you don't want to run it after you're done, if you just click out, it'll disappear forever. And then you'll bang your head into a wall. So basically like here, so here is the last one. Here's the ad I ran for it earlier this month, like last week. So we got 43 leads for $100. So 232 a lead, which is great. Had 4,600 impressions, 277 people clicked on it. We got 43 leads from that. And I have several very good conversations going from this campaign. We actually did meet with one of the buyers, and we're nurturing several others, which is awesome. So it definitely could work for you if you have the right follow-up in place. And that's why I highly suggest implementing the SMART plan.
Okay. Well, Nick, we have a lot of questions.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and I think these are great. So I'm going to do my best to go to put them in order. First person that asked a question that we told her to wait so patiently about is Rochelle. Rochelle was wondering, when's the best time to really like stop the ad, or how do you know when the ad is performing well?
Well,
Nick, can I answer this?
I mean, if you're getting leads.
Yeah, exactly.
With a single property, yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to add. Like your cost per lead should be under $4, I think. Don't you think, Leslie?
I think so. And just from how I do it typically and how I advise agents to do it typically is just to basically keep your eyes on the ad the entire time. And if you're like, don't let the ad, first of all, run completely through without capturing leads. You can always pause it. So somebody had asked, I forget your name, but this will also answer the question. Can I pause an ad, or when can I stop an ad? Can I stop an ad halfway through or whatever? You could pause the ad at any time. And just some tech tips for you all. If you do pause an ad because it's not performing well, you have to allow the ad to completely end on its date of length. So let's say the ad ends typically tomorrow, but I paused it today. I have to wait for tomorrow in order for those credits to show up in your command account. So just know that when you do pause your ad and you're like, well, where's the rest of my money going? It will then be deposited back into your command account through Facebook, so that you could use those credits for the next ad. Okay. So essentially what I like to tell people, try not to let your ad run completely through without capturing leads. You want to at least see one lead capture through halfway. And then Nick had great advice to say, $4 a lead. So that's going to be answering a lot of people's questions. The next question is, let me find it through the chat here. I think it was Howard. Yes. Is there a best suggested number of days to run the ad? And I think you kind of went through that.
Yeah, I covered that. If it's a single property,
yeah,
if it's a single property like the one I'm doing, I would only do it for like 5 days.
Yeah.
Because it's going to sell very quickly in this market, no matter where it's located.
Yeah, cool. Okay, 2 questions in our chat box. One from Rose. Rose said, can we listings, maybe what she meant is, can we add listings? Can we add listings that are pending or sold if we don't have any active listings right now? So get permission from somebody to use one of their listings. And I'm in the chat. I'm going to drop a video of
a way that you can create ads if you don't have any listings. So let me grab that video and I'll drop it right in the chat. It is, hold on. What is that video called? Shoot. Trying to find it. What's some other questions while I look for this?
Yeah, no worries. So generally, does Facebook or Instagram have better leads?
Facebook will bring you more, leads, but I don't know about better, because I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it doesn't tell you like where the lead came from, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. It does if you don't do a dynamic. If you don't do it dynamically, it'll tell you. But if you do it dynamically, it doesn't tell you where it came from. It just tells you that it came in.
Yeah.
So here I'm going to drop in the chat a video that if you don't have listings and no one will let you borrow one of the listings, which is sad. That's so sad to think about. Then use this. So homes for sale ad video. Here is a link. So watch that video. Dropped it in the chat. Grab that link and use that strategy.
Yeah. Okay. And then just to reiterate, Haley, how do we pause the ad? There's 3 dots next to each ad. When you go back to your campaigns, you'll click on those 3 dots. It's on the far right-hand side of each ad set, and then you'll be able to say pause. So that's how you find the pause button. Now back to you, Gracie. You had a question about after they click and input their information, it takes them to the website link, ? Yes, you could provide any website link within the ad set that you're creating. I like to jokingly say that you could send them to Nordstrom's, you could send them to McDonald's, you could put any kind of URL in that area, but just of course, be cohesive with where you're sending them to. So if you're, saying this home is for sale, make sure you're landing them to the place that they can learn more about that home. And we typically like to use and suggest to use your website because it's connected to your command. And then that way you can be connected quickly with the lead.
Somebody was saying that they only got 6 leads once for $12 a lead. And they're like, ouch. I mean, listen, sometimes it's going to fall flat.
Well, and I just would
you're not going to have a slam dunk every time.
Yeah. And so just be easy on yourself with that too, because I think we can see that some people get caught in the web of, well, this ad only captured this amount of leads, so this ad didn't perform well. I think it's all about the quality of conversation you guys are having. So if you're having those quality conversations and then you find that those leads are so quality, like maybe those 6 leads were worth the $14, and at the end of it, you're going to make a $10,000 commission. So out of pocket, really $14 is an amazing investment.
I had a guy once said he used my strategy and he spent $30 for like 5 days.
Yeah.
He didn't get any leads until the last day. So it was 1 lead for $30. Meanwhile, he followed up with that person, got them pre-approved, and they bought a house. So it's really like, it's not about honestly how many leads you get. If one of those 6 people wants to buy a house, that's money well spent. So
absolutely. And I think we just need to remind everybody that from that, because when we first started our partnership with Facebook, we were like, and you could get a plethora of leads for like $1 a piece, right? But now we're really seeing the results and understanding how the algorithm is working and how those interests are really targeting those people. And then you get quality leads over just the looky-loos or the Joe Schmoes that are entering the wrongful information. So John, yes, I just wanted to answer you live. Aside from the referral map, do you use some tool that can track from which state most people are moving from? So for example, from Denver moving to Montana, something like that. So yeah, you can absolutely target people out of state for your listing. And Nick and I have been consulting other people to do that, and it's working quite well. In fact, we helped somebody in Florida capture over 100 leads in New Jersey. So those referral maps are amazing for tracking in and out, depending on which direction.
Somebody's asking, is that legal? I don't know what the question is referring to. Is that legal? I don't know what that means. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but someone's asking if that's legal. I don't know what outside of the state. Yeah, for sure. Like you're like, let's say you had an expansion team. You'd have to advertise outside of the state too. You can advertise. Our websites are nationwide, just so you know.
Yeah.
Our websites we have homes for sale in all 50 states on our site. So if there's homes for sale, you can advertise. You're not saying you're going to sell that person a house, but if you know, like for me, I know my buyers in Northern New Jersey moved to Northern New Jersey from New York City.
Well,
why wouldn't I target New York City? That makes no sense at all. I'm not going to target people who live in Bloomfield. They already live there. Well, so I'm going to target people who are not physically there so I can find those buyers.
Yeah. You know? And I think to also add to your point, Nick, too, like, yes, we're talking about referral patterns within the system of KW, but also we're promoting the listing that we have or somebody else has in our state. We're not
promoting a listing that's in another state.
Correct.
Like we're not taking listings in Tucson and advertising listings in Tucson. If we're in Denver, we're taking listings in area A and targeting area B because we know that people in area B are going to move to area A. That's totally legal to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also legal to do it. It's also legal to have referral agents in Tucson and advertise listings in Tucson and then refer those buyers to those agents in Tucson, even if you're not in Tucson.
Yes.
That's what KW wants you to do.
Passive income.
Yeah. KW wants you to do that. That's how expansion teams work.
Yeah, use that referral applet and request a referral and be like, I captured some Facebook leads in your state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, you're gonna find an agent that doesn't want to spend their own money and they're happy to give you 25% all day long.
All day long.
Sweet. Okay, so
thanks everyone.
We gotta run. We gotta jump off.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Let me hit the recording end real quick. Thanks for being here. You guys are awesome.